Hey guys, it's Maria here. I'm the co-owner of Passport Vintage, a vintage shop in Austin, Texas, and we specialize on vintage denim. So you guys seem to really like the other vintage jeans videos on this channel. So today I wanted to explain the difference between mid-rise, low-rise, and high-rise, so that when you're buying online, you can know exactly like what to do, what you're looking for. So let's start with high-rise. So in vintage Levi's, a high-rise would be a Levi's 550, like this one, or like a Levi's 512. And what's special about the high-rise or the vintage high-rise is that they're really, really high-waisted. So usually the measurement of the waist fits your actual waist. So for vintage, you know, like sizing can be all over the place. So that's why it's really important for you to know your actual like physical measurements. So a vintage seller can tell you what the waist measurement for the jeans are. So it would be this exact measurement, like that. Ugh, I don't know why it's like all crazy. This measurement, and this should line up almost perfectly with your natural waist. So that's for a high waist pair of jeans. That's why they're easier to buy, because if it says it's a 27-inch waist jean and your waist is 27 inches, then you're pretty sure that that's gonna fit. So a high-rise jeans, and if you're not sure, a rise is from here, the seam, that's where we measure a Passport, to the top of here. A high-rise jeans for us at Passport is anything above a 10.5-inch rise or higher. So usually a high rise is 11-inch, 12-inch. There's some 13 inches, and I think I have seen 14-inch. Yeah, like this one is 11-inch. I don't know if you can tell. So this is a high rise, and they are pretty rare. A high rise is pretty rare on like newer jeans because they just don't make them this high-waisted anymore. So yeah, this is really easy to shop for, because if you know your waist, then you know that these are gonna fit because these sit at the waist. Okay, so now let's go for a mid-rise. So a classic mid-rise is a pair of Levi's 501s. So 501s are a mid-rise. So this measurement, this waist measurement, is not your exact waist measurement. It's a couple of inches below your actual waist. Obviously everybody's different, everybody varies, but this is like the basic rule. So if this measures at 27, then usually it will fit like a 25, because you know it typically sets 1 or 2 inches below your actual waist. So these are a little bit harder to buy online. That's why you sometimes may buy something that says 27, size 27, but then you know it just doesn't fit. Or a lot of people, if the jean is like too big, or like the sizing says it's like 2 sizes above, but then it fits them, they're like, oh, I must have gained weight or something. It's like, no, it's just a mid-rise jeans. So a mid-rise is, for us, we consider a mid-rise anywhere between like a 9.75 and a 10.5. So the 501's a 10.5. So the 501s vary a little bit. For the vintage ones, they usually are 10.5 for the most part, but they can be 10, or they can be 9.75, or some special ones can be like a 11, so technically a high waist, but those are very rare. And for a low waist, we consider anything below a 9.5-inch rise a low waist. So that one, it's really hard to buy online, 100% cotton, a low waist, because you have to really know your measurements for your hip and your rise. And usually the best recommendation for that is you measure the measurements of the jeans you're interested in versus a pair that you have at home, so that you can compare like where the measurements lie, and that is the easiest way to see if something's gonna fit you or not. I'll link below a video that I did showing you how to measure yourself so you can buy the perfect fitting jeans online. And if you have any questions, please let me know, leave them in the comments below, and please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions about vintage jeans, just ask.